You shouldn't attack British soldiers, man.
Yeah, because she knew the dad didn't know that he had those toys?
Yeah. Like illegally, child labor laws that should not be happening.
I don't know if it's a real thing, because the Gorgonites are fake. I know that. I don't want to record right now.
I am here to facilitate the surrender of the Gorgonzolas.
The Gonzolas. Welcome to the PatCave, a show where we talk all about superheroes, pop culture, nostalgic TV movies we grew up with.
And while this one wasn't a part of my nostalgia, because I think I did sleep on this movie quite a bit,
Okay.
I am so thrilled that today we are getting to do a PatCave episode on this.
A classic in my mind, Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
The 1997?
No, 98.
98.
I'm sure bits of production were in 97.
Of course.
That's how it always goes. Movies took a lot longer back in the day.
Probably.
You know, my parents obviously approved.
Yeah.
It's right on that line of being a little bit raunchy for little kids.
I don't think our parents were of the same bracket of allowing your kid to do things.
I mean, no humans were hurt in the making of this, right?
It looks like it. It really looks like
some
they
toys
were.
might have killed some people.
Yeah.
So let's get into a summary.
I was thinking about a military commando, soldier.
Okay, that's good. I know you mentioned a horror movie too.
Oh yeah, I mean I could try that too.
Because we're gonna edit this.
It's horror.
Okay, do the horror.
After the military acquisition of a toy company, a pair of scientists receive full clearance from their morally corrupt higher-ups to infuse a new line of action figures with state-of-the-art military microchips. With their newly found sentience, the military-minded commando elite execute their plan to wipe out the Gorgonite enemies of their human allies in this action-packed PG-13 horror thriller, Small Soldiers.
Nice. That was great. That's pretty straightforward, man. You
Yeah.
got good guys and bad guys, but they're twisted.
No, that's exactly right, because the intention of the Gorgonites was to be like a learning child's toy, and the CEO's like, nah, axe it.
Did you say learn?
Did you say learn?
Yeah. Soldiers are supposed to be the good guys.
Uh-huh.
The monsters are supposed to be the bad guys.
Yes.
That gets flipped around.
Yeah, and as we get into the fun facts, the Gorgonites are kind of masked out of the Masters of the Universe, like He-Man franchise.
Oh, interesting.
And then obviously the Commando Elites are G.I. Joes.
G.I. Joes.
Who wants a body massage?
Now, what side are you?
Gorgonites, baby.
Gorgonites.
Yeah.
I thought, as a kid, the Small Soldiers, Chip Hazard and his crew, they are so cool.
Yeah, they are. They're terrifying.
Did you ever play with G.I. Joes?
Alabama, he's quick, he's strong, he's active. You can take Alabama man to the bowling alley where he drinks heavily and chews tobacco.
I thought I told you to shut up.
I don't know. My parents were very, very controlling of what type of toys I was allowed.
No war toys.
As I got older and my brother was in the military, they were more okay with that.
Gotcha.
But
This dad, worst dad ever. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he gets the award.
that's Kevin Dunn as Stuart Abernathy.
Isn't he from Tool Time?
No.
Oh, no.
I love that we're going to show a side-by-side right now.
Never
That is
mind.
not Al from
Okay.
Tool Time.
Okay.
He is famously Witwicky's dad in the Transformers.
That's right. Another horrible dad.
He's also the military commander in Godzilla from 1998.
Oh, okay. The neighbor.
Incredible.
Who's that guy?
That is Phill Hartman. He
Phill
is
Hartman.
a Hall of Famer in terms of SNL castmates.
Every line out of his mouth, hilarious.
He is famously Lionel Hutz in The Simpsons. He's the ambulance chaser lawyer in that.
Okay.
His total voice is
Now
it's
imagine this,
iconic.
honey. Yeah.
He sadly passed away in 1998. He's famously credited with writing with Paul Rubens the character Pee-wee, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, okay.
Pee-wee's Great Adventure.
Oh,
he helped
interesting.
create that.
Matt Foley.
He was the dad in the Matt Foley skit.
Yeah,
He's in the Colon Blow commercial where he's sitting on a tower of wheat that piles up. It's so funny.
So just a great actor. R.I.P.
Amazing. R.I.P.
Some other people in this. We've got Kirsten Dunst.
Yep. MJ from Spider-Man. We've already covered her in Tower of Terror.
Yes. Full-blown crush on her.
Yeah,
So
Bring It On.
Dude,
Classic.
So good.
Jumanji. I
Jumanji,
always forget
dude.
that she's
We should
Alan's
watch
sister
that.
in
We should
Jumanji.
watch that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The protagonist, we've got
Alan Abernathy.
Alan.
His name is Gregory Smith. He is in Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. The thing that I've always remembered him in is Mel Gibson's The Patriot. He is the first son to die in that movie.
Well, he deserved it.
Yeah. You shouldn't attack British soldiers, man. Yeah. So Jay Moore, who I guess I kind of recognize him from SNL. He was an SNL castmate for like a year.
Okay.
He's from Jerry Maguire. He's also in Pay It Forward.
Yes.
And he was a character in Are We There Yet with Ice Cube.
Forgot about that one.
His scientist cohort, that is David Cross, who is Tobias Funke in Arrested Development.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's also in quite a bit. He's just a big stand-up guy.
Yeah.
He's a good writer, comic.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Played this role perfectly, I think.
Yeah. Such a dweeb. Such like a nerdy dweeb.
Exactly.
Pushover scientist.
Yeah.
We see Dick Miller again, who is a carryover from another Joe Dante classic, Gremlins. He is in the exact same spot on the same set.
That's
in the same circle.
So this is Stars Hollow.
Yeah, this is Stars Hollow.
From
This
Gilmore
is the
Girls.
town circle in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
This is Gremlins.
Yeah, just a classic Burbank set.
Burbank.
Burbank.
Yeah.
Welcome to beautiful Burbank, California, home of more year-round Halloween stores than any other city in the world. Want to do drugs in an empty swimming pool with a couch in it?
Absolutely.
Every time someone was like, man,
it's so
I'm
cold."
cold. You're like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're in
hot,
Burbank.
and it's crazy out there in Burbank.
Excellent.
Of the other ones, there was a couple like
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
Yes.
We can't move on without talking about him.
Yes.
He is a lot of big name characters. Like in Ice Age, he's Diego the saber-toothed tiger.
Okay. Yes.
He's Francis the ladybug in Bug's Life. He's in Draft Day as the coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Kevin Costner's his general manager.
Nice.
He's in. I mean, it
What's
was
his
a fireman
biggest-
show, Rescue Me.
Oh,
on
okay.
FX. Like,
That's
that
why I
was
see him. His face all over that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
he's
just
just
biggest role.
He's famously George Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man.
That's the one.
That's the one that you were thinking.
Okay, now we can move on.
Yeah. So the Barbie dolls that kind of go haywire and crazy. Christine Ritchie, who is Wednesday Addams in the Addams Family.
Oh,
The
okay.
original Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire
No
Slayer.
way.
Were those two voices.
Wow.
Yeah, which are hilarious.
Speaking of voices, the most important voice,
Tommy
Lee Jones.
Soldiers, no poor sap ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by being all that he can be.
It's great. I mean, he's born for these type of roles.
Yeah, a satire military commander.
Yeah, I don't got to see his wrinkly face.
Yeah, and this is kind of weird with the voices. I'm glad we got to this. So the Commando Elite, those are the guys from the Dirty Dozen.
Oh, okay.
And then on the other side of the Gorgonites, there's a movie about the band Spinal Tap that's a complete fiction.
Okay.
And every single character except for Frank Langella, who's Archer, is a member of this 80s band that's like a mockumentary film
Did
about
he
it.
get them in bulk or something? Like he saved money?
It's so strange because I couldn't find out like the rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just close friends with Joe Dante.
Okay, yeah. And they're just like, hey, you need 7 voices? My friends and I have voices.
Yeah. It's very interesting to me.
Okay. First of all, they did a great mix between stop motion, CGI, some cool camera techniques to bring these toys to life.
They did, and as I did research, they said about a third of the movie was puppeteering, and then it was at a time when CGI was kicking off.
Yeah.
And it was overall going to be a cheaper cost for the film to do CGI.
We basically said, this is like Toy Stories had the gremlin skin on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is Gremlins if they were toys.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I feel like a lot of times I witnessed this movie like as a daytime television experience with commercials involved.
Gotcha.
So there were a lot of scenes where I'm like, oh my God, this is violent. Like where I didn't
Seriously?
like really like factor in all the nails being shot at people.
Yeah.
The explosive.
Explosives. All the murder.
Yeah. And if you know things about science, you know that this movie is flawless.
Flawless.
Oh, dude.
They explain what EMPs are, so you know it's legit.
Yeah, electromagnetic pulse.
There it
Got
is.
Skill confirmed. Friendly EMP systems detonated.
This dad leaves his son to watch his rundown toy store.
Mhm.
I mean, rundown, no, but they're just basic old toys.
Yeah, and it's more like people that are like model aficionados. Like
I guess so.
It's not so much toys, but I feel like they're kind of like in that space of like, well, we should branch out so we can get kids in here.
The dad doesn't care about that. It's the son that's like keeps saying like, I thought we could make some money for the store finally.
Yeah, this 13-year-old is like doing their stock and all this stuff like illegally, child labor laws that should not be happening.
In Stars Hollow, it's different though.
Guess. Yeah, in Stars Hollow, it's different. Put that on a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
so he convinces this delivery man to give him these toys early.
Yeah, all 12 from the original set.
And the guy's like, I don't know, I could lose my job, but okay.
Yeah.
He just flips like that. Let's go back to how these toys were created real quick.
Oh my God. It doesn't really add up. I knew that there was going to be some like half-assed reason as to why these toys can do what they can do.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was going to be of the Home Alone 3 variety where it's literally like
The magic
weapons chips.
The magic chip.
Because the whole premise of the story is that a military company, Globotech,
Yeah.
acquires a toy company.
Well, they acquired like a shitload of family consumer science
Products.
Yes, and it's like your family protected by us, and they're showing bombs and like people having picnics.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a Helldivers commercial. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was kind of funny.
Well, and the non-nerdy guy,
Joe Lore or Jay Lore is his
yeah.
name.
So he first of all, why is a marketing guy buying software?
Yeah, and why is your software able to be searched in the most mundane way
Yeah.
possible?
Top secret,
Top
highly
secret,
classified.
state of the art.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
just
he
gets
buys 1,000 smart chips, like
In bulk.
super smart chips.
yeah.
And,
And
so,
that didn't raise any red flags to like the people in distribution.
no, and they should have been more expensive.
yeah.
Like for a chip this significant, like
like it just said charge to your account.
yeah,
Like that just got through.
yeah, yeah. So basically, they become AI. They start learning
Is it Archer that's like reading about the Kennedy assassination and like
yeah.
all this crazy stuff?
just by clicking. Like, first of all,
Yeah. Internet
Yeah.
searches are not like that.
the internet searches are not like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I saw it more as a what is all this stuff, and then he got to the picture of his homeland because I'm like, no way, he's reading all this and learning.
Yeah, where is that exact? Isle of Gorgon is what they say.
I don't know if it's a real thing because the Gorgonites are fake. I know that.
It looked like they were looking at a picture of like the Loch Ness Lake from like Ireland
Yeah.
or Scotland or
Yeah.
something. The Isle of Gorgona is Gorgona Island in Colombia. I doubt this is real.
Yeah,
AI
I doubt it's
sucks.
real.
We'll find out and like put the real one right here.
Right there. We basically have, this friendship going down between Archer, leader of the Gorgonites, and our
Buddy
classically
Alan.
90-haired kid.
Yeah,
What-
phallic 90s haircut.
What's his name?
Alan Abernathy.
Alan.
Alan.
So Alan has a crush on Kirsten Dunst. Classic.
Don't we all?
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of like promises her this toy for her brother,
Yeah.
and the brother gets the short end of the stick in this movie. he gets
Yeah.
kidnapped, tied up, thrown in a closet.
Well, I mean, so does she. Eventually, she does too.
I think she likes it though.
Oh. I mean, we all have our things.
Okay, so back to the plot. The best part of the movie that I can remember as a kid was this montage of the Commando Elite going to the garage, making weapons.
With the Queen song playing.
Yeah,
Another one. Bites
another
the
one
dust.
bites the dust.
Yeah.
And as a kid, this is where I associate this song with.
Oh yeah.
It's like the first time I heard it, I think. It went perfect with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like they've got chop saws and blades, and all the toys are stolen from Alan's dad's garage, and he blames the kid for pawning them off. Just a horrible dad.
And like let's just get this right off the bat. Like Alan's such a pushover when it comes to Kirsten Dunst, and I think we all would be.
Yeah.
But she just like helps him like dust a few things, fix a ship horribly.
Yeah.
Dad shows up, busts him for like the store getting robbed.
Yeah.
And then he just lets her like waltz out of there with was it Archer or a different one?
It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because we see her take it.
We see him see her take
We
it.
see her, and then she just waits outside and then gives it back to him out there. Yeah,
I don't
it was-
remember her giving it back, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, he does end up with it in his room later.
Yeah, because she knew the dad didn't know that he had those toys. or-
Yeah. But what's even weirder is that he alludes to the reason he's been kicked out of school a few times is calling in a bomb threat.
So she's like, "You've been kicked out of like 10 schools, haven't you?"
He's like, only two.
Only 2.
Doesn't make it any better.
And she's like, "Fine, come on, tell me what it was." He's like, flooding the bathrooms, graffiti, bomb threats. He just threw in that last one like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty wild stuff there, kid.
Yeah, and he's just acting out because his dad sucks.
Yeah. Because when your dad sucks, there's only a few things that you could do. Therapy doesn't work.
Toilets, graffiti, bomb threats.
Bomb threats. The big
Yeah.
3.
The sweetest part of these movies is when they finally see that he's been telling the truth.
Yeah.
And there's no like, "I'm sorry, son" moment or like, "we were wrong."
Big fat liar
No.
stuff.
There's like, oh, you didn't like tell us they were like these type of toys, son. You're still wrong.
Yeah, we're taking you to therapy for many
Yeah.
years. I love the conveyor belt scene of creating these evil Barbie dolls and the logic of I just take out one chip from one dead soldier,
Yeah.
and then they mass produce.
with a bunch of fun stuff we had as kids, like the electrical ball and like
Yeah.
the light bright thing. Yeah, because Chip Hazard gets blown up. All of his friends get blown up, and he crawls away and saying the most iconic line: "We have lost the battle, but we will not lose the war."
Yeah.
That stuck with me as a kid. He finds a big truck of toys,
Oh,
big truck
yeah.
of small soldiers.
Yeah, that they miraculously end. He streams himself down a lake and just ends up
there.
the best toy store in the town.
Great plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then now he's got a truck full of, Commando Elite going against the families, Kirsten Dunst's family,
Yeah.
Alan's family.
What are their last names? It's so weird. It's the Fimples.
Fimples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phill Fimple.
And the whole neighborhood is hearing these bombs go off, and they just look out their window and go, Fimple.
Yeah.
Like
And
classic Fimple.
They turn up the volume on their
Yeah.
TV.
You
and
kept
ignore
saying, where are the cops?
Yeah, that's honestly how I felt at least in Gremlins. There were 2 cops that we
Yeah.
knew about.
The nerds even come there,
Yeah,
right? Because they're like, hey, you said there was a problem with the toy? Phew, like fireball goes through their head.
yeah. They get smashed in the face.
His dad punches him right away.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well deserved.
They're having some fun with this one. You even said halfway through, you're like, this looks like so much fun to make.
Yeah.
They've got them on RC cars with
When
flames.
they burst through the garage door and they have repurposed vehicles, and then
Yes.
they even connect into each other like a
Power Rangers.
Zord.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Now there was a needle drop in this that was pretty funny.
Needle
I think it
drop.
was Spice Girls.
Oh yeah, and
And-
they couldn't even get that credited in the film.
Really?
Yeah, the if you wanna be my love.
Yeah, and so they had speakers on the front lawn and crank it.
Mhm.
And you go, psychological warfare.
yeah,
Right when the mom says it.
yeah,
And then the other mom is like, I love this song.
yeah.
It's great.
Oh,
It was
man.
great.
To round out plot notes, there's a couple things that I noticed that warmed my heart. For instance, the intro video where they're like, it's like Globotech's like
Yeah.
mission statement.
Yeah.
They use a phrase "swords to plowshares," which is a magic card, a 1-cost planes magic card that you can exile target creature and gain life equal to its power. Big magic guy, and I was like, that's awesome that they say.
I've never heard that term before.
Yeah,
Okay.
I only
You
did
have.
because of magic.
Yeah.
There was a couple quotes in there.
I think World War II was my favorite war.
So awesome.
I think I laughed hardest at that.
Yeah.
They're just randomly watching. Wait, this is right when they get roofied, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
They're sitting
yeah.
on the couch watching
His
like,
new entertainment
yeah,
system.
on the JVC stereo.
And he's like, are you ready for this, babe? And he turns it on. He's like, I don't know. Picture looks a little blurry.
yeah. The skin dynamic is totally off.
It cuts to the pill dropping in the drinks. The Commando Elite drug the parents.
So good.
Yeah. My wife is still tripping.
Yeah. Yeah. And then those are like the great things that we notice. And then there's the things that are totally flawed, like climbing up a power pole to burst
create an EMP.
EMP. Yeah. It was just
or convincing your dad that you're more qualified to do it.
yeah. Dead kid.
Like if he would have been like, Dad, like, remember all those schools I got kicked out of while I was doing like electrical stuff? Like, I have the capability to do this. No, he's got rubber gloves on, a wrench,
Yeah.
and climbs to the top of a pole.
Yeah. I think I'd ask my dad to do that
Yeah.
before I thought that I should do
Yeah.
this. Or
What a
one of
little
the stupid scientists
bitch.
that's actually intelligent with electrical
Yeah,
Stuff.
something. Gorgonites get shielded by a
satellite, down
satellite
satellite
dish.
dome.
So they don't get their
Yeah.
chips fried, but everyone else does.
Sure.
Sure. And there's our happy ending. They
Yeah.
they get put on a boat, that same boat that Alan broke earlier.
Yeah, the mast.
Yeah, put him out to sea. And it's like, yo, I could probably drive you there in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Wait, to Gorgon?
Have Alan drive them there.
Yeah, he just leaves him in a field out there,
Yeah.
out on Van Nuys.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here's Gorgon. Wait, can you leave us some provisions? And
Yeah.
then just leaves on that scooter and just gets the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
There were a couple other things that like we haven't even like really gotten into the violence of this movie.
Yeah, corn in the cob.
Oh,
4 of them go right into his leg.
Oh,
No big deal.
I'm not a big blood guy. Also he gets like hit by a saw on the side
By
of his wrist.
Nick Nitro, as a kid, was one of my favorite commando elites.
Yeah.
He had a mohawk. Yeah, he got just destroyed in the garbage disposal. With me, with all this battling going on, I get that there's a lot, so it's kind of creepy. And like they're like, dude, they're this big. Shove them off you. Step on them. Throw a blanket on them.
That was what I was waiting for you to say. Yeah, this could all be solved with a good blanket.
Nice blanket.
An Afghan.
You got any more plot notes?
No, not so much plot notes. I got my booty factoids, which I'm excited to share some stuff
booty
with.
factoids.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on this. A lot of.
Okay, let's hear some.
Yeah. So Burger King was pissed at this movie. This is kind of a la Batman Returns with the toys scenario.
Okay.
So when they made the deal to do marketing for this, Burger King was one of the fast food chains that hopped aboard.
Okay.
And they did the rodeo burger.
It was pretty tasty, huh? You can't handle the rodeo burger.
And also a line of toys. But the rating was not yet established. So they're thinking this is going to be a PG film.
PG-13?
This was a PG-13 film.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that it's tied to Gremlins because that was the whole...
The reason why PG-13
13 was created.
Yeah.
That and Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, I think, were in part reasons why.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we mention the director?
Yeah. Joe Dante. Gremlins 2.
Oh, so this is Joe.
Yes.
No,
I said that earlier.
Oh, I missed that.
The headphones they're cutting off your ears.
Yeah, I missed that.
No, yeah. This was directed by the same
no wonder.
guy.
I bet he was like, hey, I got a great place to shoot. Same
Stars Hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
Wow.
Spielberg disappeared from being credited as executive producing and also a writer on this piece.
Interesting.
And there's not really a lot of like show and tell as to why. And also his sister, Steven Spielberg's sister, was a writer for the script for this.
Interesting.
And the only thing that people can kind of come to grips with as to why is that they did not want to associate with such a violent film kind of marketed towards kids. But they didn't like really say. But they were a part of the film just like they were a part of Gremlins.
With Gremlins, yeah.
And Joe Dante. So maybe he's just a confidant. I don't know.
Yeah.
In terms of merchandising of this movie, there were awesome toys that they made.
And I got them.
Yep. We got Insaniac on your right.
Insaniac. Okay.
And then Archer.
And he had like a Tasmanian devil
mace
feature.
He had a mace that
But he
came
could
with
spin
him.
around. He was like spinning around the movie like a top.
Michael McKean was the voice of him. He originated Edna in Hairspray on Broadway in 2004. I think that's cool. You probably don't give a shit. We also have Jim Cummings as Ocula, the eye.
Yeah.
Jim Cummings we just discussed in Goofy Movie. He is Pete.
Oh, really? That eye doesn't talk though.
He does the sounds and stuff, I guess. I don't know. It's still that's Jim Cummings, which is so funny.
Imagine being hired for a role and you'd be like, so here's your script. And it's just like sounds.
Yeah. Also, I completely forgot this, but he was also in The Dirty Dozen.
Oh.
One of the guys who played the sniper, that's Butch Meathook, the sniper, is one of the Commando Elites.
Yeah.
That was Jim Brown, Hall of Fame running back for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah.
What?
I know. He's the black one.
That's okay. Gotcha.
Cut. So the original poster for Small Soldiers had a gun. It was like cockeyed like that. And if you look at the current movie cover, it is just his hand and they took out the gun.
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you look in the film, when Alan gets the cutouts as part of the marketing for the toys, he has the gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine having one of those cutouts.
I know.
That'd be sick.
That would be so tight.
I got to look online.
There's a callback to Gremlins a couple of times in this movie.
Okay.
For instance, in the dumpster, there is a Gizmo toy.
Oh, no way.
That was thrown out, I guess, as the company
great.
was doing new...
I love Easter eggs like that.
So cool.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's one of the passwords for the scientists.
Gizmo. It was right there in front of me.
Right there the whole time.
That's so cool.
There was a remake of Small Soldiers that got greenlit in 2014 with director Justin Lin attached, who directed a few of the Fast and Furious films in that franchise. And then it was to be titled Toymageddon and was scrapped among other projects when Disney purchased 20th Century Fox in 2019.
So that segues perfectly into our prequel sequel segment.
Oh, it does.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first.
I'm excited.
So mine is a sequel.
Oh, mine too.
So at the very end of the movie,
Yeah.
Dennis Leary.
Did you read my screen?
No, I didn't.
This is insane.
Okay, so Dennis Leary comes in after all the chaos. He just bribes.
He's paying everybody
First of all, he just
off.
bribes everyone.
Get out of my head.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But no, mine is about, yes, he says this offhanded line of, I know some people in South Africa that would love these toys. And meaning he's going to sell them to like rebels and like terrorists. I think the sequel should be, they redesign them to be like
drones,
full on human size.
Cool.
Okay. And they send them out there. It's like a mix between Terminator and this.
Yeah.
But it's all gang violence in South Africa.
Yeah.
He becomes a drug lord, Chip Hazard.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
What's it titled?
The title is
Small Soldiers 2.
Big Soldiers.
Big Soldiers. That sucks, man. That was my I had Small Soldiers 2, Global Takedown. The Gorgonites and Commando Elites band together in order to put a stop to Globotech once and for all.
Ooh.
Toy companies are being bought out left and right by Globotech's mission to employ the same type of computer chip on your childhood favorite action figures. Evil, Woody and Buzz, the Power Rangers, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Batman, Darth Vader, Barbie, etc.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I just figured that like Gil kind of gets off easy. He's just bribing everybody.
Yeah.
Up to
he
no
does
good.
need to. Yeah, he needs to learn a lesson.
He needs to go to jail.
Jail would be
Straight to
great.
jail. Yeah.
So in yours, do the soldiers and Gorgonites team up?
That's what I wanted.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. That's actually way better than mine. You win this week's prequel sequel.
Ta-da! Thanks, man.
So now let's get into scores. Yeah. Now, what is your
No, you're gonna go first because I'm not having you pick mine.
Okay, I'll go first. My Chip Hazardous Pat score is an 8.3.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's not. It's still such a good time for me. I don't think there was anything plot note wise that was like so far fetched for me.
This movie was flawless.
Flawless. Yeah, it was the best movie ever. It was a staple in my childhood, and it remains one today.
Yep.
I think it held up 8.3. Chip Hazardous booty score.
You know, as we eventually get into like our scores of all of the films that we've watched here on the PatCave, I think you might find that this might be the closest we've ever come to giving the same score.
Ooh.
I am 0.1 higher than you. I gave this an 8.4.
8.4. You liked it more than me, huh?
I guess. I think it's an appropriately out of control cult classic.
Yeah.
Gremlins was wild and at times too zany and kooky for my taste.
Agreed.
And I really love the overall story, as flawed as it is.
Yeah.
I love the cast. This had a better cast than Gremlins.
Yep.
This movie was perfectly silly, and the only issue that I have is the level of violence. Like, as far as like marketing towards kids, yeah, there's parts of this where I'm like, not for you just yet.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the narrative, and I would welcome a franchise of these characters.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring this back.
Get
baby.
Justin Lin involved.
Yeah.
Get Vin Diesel to voice some of these characters.
Kirsten Dunst, maybe.
Yeah, she's still around. She
She's
could be the
around.
mom of the next kid.
She's alive.
Yeah, she's there.
First of all, nostalgic nuggets, great toys, fantastic actors, and an amazing rewatch with my buddy Alex Moody here.
I had a great time, Pat, man.
Good.
This was like a movie I'm glad I hadn't seen in a long time, and it was so much fun to revisit.
Like, subscribe, share with your fellow nerds. This was the PatCave Small Soldiers review. Tan Hut!
Move in, soldier!
Move in, soldier! Yeah.
Hut two! Hut, 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 hut,
We will
hut.
not be defeated.
Mr. Bottom Massage Machine, go.
What the hell?
Bottom massage.